Okay, welcome to another video for Gate Ruler. So this will be another deck profile. This is the part 2 in the series of we're going over like budget decks. So this one is going to be for Atlas or the blue faction. And then this one will actually use majority of the starter deck, the zombiepocalypse starter deck. So it's going to be a zombie focused archetype. So because starter decks are fairly cheap, this deck is pretty much basically 2 starter decks combined so you can get the playsets of certain cards. And then it is basically just a few more cards from other sets to make it up. But we're using Wizard for this one. So again, we don't actually have anything higher than level 2. But we're using the Wizard for the ability to, play multiple cards of lower cost, and then being able to have energy available to, interact with some of the things that our opponents will be doing. Oh, and then, sorry, one correction. There is a few level 3s, but there's no level 3 units. But there are a few level 3 events, which is why having Wizard is actually pretty good for that. So the first card we have is for Zombie Rider. So this is the main cover card of the starter deck. It's a zombie military, and it has Breakthrough, which is pretty relevant for just going through your opponent's middle selection. But it also gets 1 HP and 1 attack for each other zombie or military unit aside itself. And it will also count twice. So if you have like 2 of these on the field, they'll both be giving each other plus 2 attack and 2 HP. And then there's a few other cards. There's only like a few other that are both zombie and military. But other than that, everything else in the deck is either zombie or military. Next we have 4 zombie Kaiser. So this just has 7 power, so it's good for clearing. You can also enhance over zombies, as well as if it ever has a charge, you can get rid of the charge, and then you can give it +1 strike until the end of the turn. It also can be placed in the defense zone, which is not like super big of an issue. It also has charge shield if it has a shield under it. But a lot of times this will be good for pushing damage through. If your opponent's open, you can use the charge shield or the charge under it to give it the 3rd strike. But other than that, 7 power is just very good for clearing at a level 2 for a zombie. Next we have 4 zombie soldier. So this is one of the few that has zombie military as well. It's also just a 5/2/2, so fairly good attack as well as good strike for level 1, and it is a zombie, as well as powers up our zombie riders. And then these 3 cards so far are from the starter deck. This next one is from set 3. So the zombie is the zombie Slugger. So when it comes into play, you can deal 2 damage to an enemy unit. So sometimes you'll be playing this mostly on your turn, where you play it, just 2 to something, and then you use this to finish it off to do the 5 damage to kill units. Or as you can also use it because we are a wizard, because we always have 2 energy available. You can summon it against units that have like lower HP. And then we also have 2 zombief. So this one is just filler. It is a zombie, and it's a 4/4/2 for 1. So it's just a filler of being a zombie. We have 4 A7 Cheshire the cat. So this is actually, there's a correction. This is the only non-zombie, I believe, in this deck. But it is a very good defensive unit. Again, because we always have energy available on opponent's turn, we can summon it just to summon to take an attack. So that way we have more chances of surviving. Next we have is 4 zombie troll. Again, this came as a promo or in addition to the starter deck, but it's also available in set 3. Basically, when it comes to play, because we are playing it in a touchdown deck, you get to discard a zombie and then you get to draw a card. So this lets us filter out some of our other level 0 zombies, and then get our graveyard full of zombies, so that way we can use some of our effects from our events. We also have 4 mutilated mutilated goblin, which is a zombie, and it's just a 2/2/2, so 2 strike for 0, so just can deal damage, as well as another 0 zombie, which is very relevant for some of our effects. We also have 4 zombie Demolitionist, which is a very good zombie. So when you counter check it, you can deal 2 damage to a unit, or when it's put into the graveyard from the field, you can choose one unit and deal 2 damage to it as well. So again, just a very good zombie unit, and then one that we would want to recur multiple times. And the last unit we have is 4 Spartan Panzer Marines. So this is a military unit, and it just has the energy boost so that we can restand our energy, and we can use more energy to do for like our bigger plays. For our events, we have 3 zombie apocalypse. So this one lets us choose 2 zombies from our graveyard, or up to 2 zombies with combined level of 2 or less, and special summon into our attack zone. So this only goes to attack zones, but this also summon like Zombie Rider and Zombie Kaiser with like say one of our level 0 zombies, or it even lets us summon 2 level 1 zombies as well to our field. Note that it won't trigger the touchdown abilities of any of the zombies we summon, but again, this is why it would be mostly for like Kaiser or Rider, where we're trying to revive our bigger threats to try to kill our opponent. We can also use this normally if we get in our hand, we can play it. And again, because we are playing Wizard, using 3 energy is fine, because then we'll untap on our opponents, so we can still interact with them if we need to. We also have 2 Buster Clothesline. So this one is just a 6 damage on a unit, so this lets us get rid of certain peskier units that we can't deal with. Because zombies do like very small incremental damage, we do need a few cards that can do just like a 1 big shot. So again, this is because we are a wizard, we could potentially use it for 3, because as long as we have 1 energy on our turn, we'll untap with 2, and then you have the 3 to play Buster Clothesline on our opponent's turn. We also have 4 Rotten Meat Shield. So this is just an instant action that, so again, because it's cost 1 on our opponent's turn, we can just rest our ruler. And then you can choose 1 level 0 zombie in your graveyard, and you special summon into your defense zone, so it can be used to soak up an attack as well. So again, you can most common one you want to do is Zombie Demolitionist, or you can do any of the other 2 level 0 zombies we have as well. And the last card we have is 3 Zombie Cannon. So we're only running 3 Zombie Cannon. You could run maybe 2, but I wouldn't suggest 4. The reason for that is that a lot of times, sometimes we don't want to get rid of the zombies we have on our field, and sometimes 4 damage may not be enough to kill like the really big units that we want to hit. But again, it can be useful at certain times, especially if you hit like say Zombie Apocalypse first. And then afterwards you damage check like a Zombie Cannon, you can just sack one of those units that you didn't really care about, like the level 0. You can end up destroying something, or you can deal 1 damage to your opponent. However, most of the time this will probably be used for dealing 4 to a unit, rather than the 1 damage to your opponent, unless of course it is to push damage. But that's all for this deck profile. So the deck list for this will be in the description below. And again, this is part 2 of the like budget series, so there'll be 2 more videos coming up that will deal with the Yomajin front as well as the Wonderverse. So again, if you have any questions, or if you want to see other deck types, you can always comment down in the section below, and then I'll see what I can do. So thank you for watching, and then I'll see you guys in the next one.